What up, fam? This is just a cool little update video that I'm gonna make right now. We're in a study room in one of the apartments, well, my apartment that I'm in. It's all fairly new. I've honestly never been in this room before, but it's pretty cool. Just filming and doing what I need to do. Nobody really is up right now. It's 7:30, 7:45. About to go upstairs, cook some food, and then get ready for the workday. Right, I have a shift at Home Depot, and I'm sales, right? So I'm still selling everything. I'm making content. I said selling everything. I'm selling HVAC stuff, and I've been doing pretty good. I've been making content in my meantime. I've been consistently posting and trying to grow this business. However, there is a gap, right? I always talk about this gap between who you are and who you want to be. And I'm in this gap. I feel it. And in order to close the gap, you need to consistently be doing the actions necessary to become this man over here from the man who you want to be. Right? There's a bunch of stuff that you need to do in between. There's things that you need to be. You need to become everything that this man is, disciplined in the areas that this man is. And this is one of the hardest parts. And so this is me just kind of documenting that gap. I want to talk about it. I don't really have a structure for this video. I don't really have a plan. I just kind of turn on the camera and I wanted to discuss where I'm at, right? Versus where I want to be. So in these apartments, I moved in, I've paid rent twice now, so it's been about 2 months I've been here. I've been at the new Home Depot job for about 2 months as well. I left the server job I was at literally a month ago, and I was there for like a few years. And I've always hustled in entrepreneurship and business. I knew for a fact that business and entrepreneurship was what I wanted to do. I didn't go to college for anything I didn't want. I initially thought I was. I even took summer classes in high school for college credit. I did AP classes, all of it. But I still didn't go because I knew it's not what I wanted. I found entrepreneurship at a young age. I want to be a businessman. I want to make real bread, real money, like a business owner does. I don't want to just be an employee for the rest of my life. I saw my grandma work and my parents work as employees. My grandma just retired. She's like 74, 73. And she worked at Home Depot, the job I'm at right now, or the place I work at, for like 23 years, bro. That is insane. I just couldn't imagine it. And so this is just something I means near and dear to my heart, that I make a business work. And this business I'm growing right now is online fitness coaching. And I'm learning a whole different skill set that I need to learn, which is marketing, sales, which I'm practicing on a daily basis, personal branding, fulfillment. And those are kind of the key areas in this business that I'm learning. But bro, like, that is the man who I want to be. I want to be a businessman who's making money, who's extremely disciplined, who's God-driven, and has a purpose within his heart every single day. Versus the man who I was, who literally a year and a half ago, right, 365 days, something like this. Bro, I was a little pothead. I was smoking weed every day. I constantly chase instant gratification. I was still on the ground with my business at the time. It was real estate. And I was just chasing these cheap dopamines every single day. And there is a gap in between this person who I was and who I want to be. And I feel like I'm in the middle of it. I haven't smoked in over a year now. I used to smoke every single day for 7 years straight. It's been about a year. I haven't been that kid that's just kind of like completely lost, but there is still habits and there is still certain things that stick with me that I'm trying to let go of. Stuff like lust, stuff like watching Netflix, stuff like just cheap dopamine, right? That I'm trying to let go of. And in that process, in doing that, I am becoming this man. And it doesn't take long. You think it takes years and years to transform yourself. It does not take long. You will feel the effects immediately. If you never hit the gym before and you start going on a daily basis or a weekly basis, you will feel the effects immediately if you didn't eat clean before and now you're eating clean on a daily basis. You will feel the effects immediately if you were unstructured before and now you're structured on a daily basis. You will feel the effects immediately. The hard part is staying in that frequency of the man who you want to become long enough to become that man. Right? Be, and then it comes. Become. And that's the process that I'm trying to document here. That's the process that I'm going through here. And it's a hard one, bro. It's hard, but this is exactly what is necessary in order to get the result. And this is why I enjoy talking about this kind of stuff. It has changed my life, okay? The gym has changed my life. The personal development has changed my life. And the businesses that I'm trying to run, I'm trying to learn and grow has changed my life. And they will continue to do so, I guarantee it. But this is what it takes, bro. This is what it takes. If I want to continuously level up, I have to continuously get uncomfortable and strip away parts of me that cannot go with me, that does not serve the version of me who I'm trying to become. Every time I'm this person now and I see this version of my head that I want to be, I want to build this, I want to create this, I want to do this, I want to become this man, I have to close the gap as best as possible every single day in order to do that. This morning I was reading Psalm 90, a psalm by Moses, and he talked about God is everlasting. He's been here since the beginning, right? Before the mountains, before the seas. And then we are but dust, right? We will go back into the earth within 70 to 80 years. We are not here forever. We are not here for the longest time. Matter of fact, very quickly will we be gone. So it matters with what you do at the time. And in this psalm, Moses prayed that God gave us a heart. He gave us a heart of purpose, heart filled with purpose. Because that is what matters as men, not chasing pleasure, not giving into instant gratification, not watching Netflix, smoking the weed, lusting, doing the things that aren't actually moving you forward. We will die. This body will pass away, but the thing that stays is the spirit, which is why it's important to grow within the spirit, not just your physical fitness, not just the gym. That's great. And if you are out of shape there, I'm telling you, bro, I know for a fact the rest of your life does not look anything like it could be. But if you are in shape as well, like me, now there's another level. You need to continuously grow within the spirit, right? I don't want to be a bodybuilder. I don't want to be Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? I want to look good. I want to continue to grow, of course. But that's not my goal. My end game is to just grow in every area of life, not just one. And that should be your goal as well. Last year when I invested in a mentorship, one of the mentorships for real estate, it was the most expensive mentorship that I've ever invested in, 10 mans. I didn't have the money, I put it all on credit, and I ended up opting out like halfway through the year to pursue this business. I felt like it was more aligned. I felt like, okay, I can make content about this better. I felt like there were things that I could do more. You know, I'm more involved, but also at the same time, I quit. There's a lesson I can talk for hours about that lesson about quitting and changing directions and pivoting when it's smart. But there's always this thought in my head that comes up that's like, what if you didn't quit? But let me go back. I'm kind of all over the place. It doesn't matter, neither here nor there. Those lessons had to happen for me to be here. Back to the original point. I invested $10,000, money that I did not have, in order to propel my life forward. That is what it takes, bro. It takes some pain. It takes some hurt. You have to go through it. There is no other way. There is no other way. So if you want to become the man who you know you could be, who God is calling you to be, to have a heart filled with purpose, as Moses said, to live a life that is driven towards purposeful matters, you need to kill instant gratification every day. Last week was tough. It was brutal for me. Right? Back to the present moment. Last week was fucking hard, dude. I gave into instant gratification almost every day. I missed my alarm almost every fucking day. And this morning was the first morning where I said, no, bro, I refuse, bro. I refuse to go back to being the man who I was. It's a slippery slope. You can't ever just be at the top of the mountain and expect, it's all comfortable. Once you start getting comfortable, that's when you start regressing. Back into your old ways, back into comfort, back into those easy patterns. That's what I did. And this morning was brutal. It was fucking brutal. 6 a.m. came. I was tired as shit. I did not want to do the morning routine. I did not want to do the cold shower. I didn't want to do the push-ups. I didn't want to do it. I don't even want to really be here right now making this content, but I tell you, I feel 10 times fucking better that I'm here making this content now after going through a whole morning routine. And I know I'm going to be on time for my work shift. I'm going to be early. I'm going to be ready. I'm going to be on time. I'm going to have my mind ready. And that is what is key. I'm creating. I'm building. I'm purpose-filled. My heart is purpose-filled. And that is exactly what Moses said in the Bible in the Psalm that I read this morning. And this is what it requires. If you truly want to be the man God called you to be, this is what it requires, bro. I started this talk with instant gratification versus delayed gratification and becoming the man who you can become, from this guy who you want to see, the man in the mirror that I want to be, versus the man who I am right now. And I described certain habits and gaps, and I described last week, and I described a year, and I'm telling you, bro, in order for me to become this man fully, in order for you to become this man fully, the man that you want to be versus the man you are, you need to close the gap. Close the gap every single day through habits, through structure, and through abiding by a plan with discipline. That is the hardest piece. I described it yesterday in my Instagram stories. If you're not following me on IG, it's at Aiden Hatchet. But I described it as there's a building or a house, and every time you avoid going through the front door, because the front door resembles growth, it resembles the pain, it resembles the cold on the outside and facing it, or the heat. And you instead go out the back door, which is like nice and easy. It's shady. Nobody's gonna see stuff like this. You can escape, right? And there's a front door and a back door. And even if you put a lock on the back door, the problem is you have the key. You know exactly where you put the key in the house, so you can go and grab that key and unlock it, right? You're a grown-ass man. Your mom isn't gonna come and hide the key for you. Your friends aren't gonna come hide the key. You have the keys in your hands every single day. Every single day, and that key is in your mind, right? So you have to dial in your habits. You have to force yourself to put that key in a place where you know where it's at, but there's resistance to go and get it. All right, it's like not only resistance, but you have to put yourself in a mindset where there's resistance to go and get that key and face the front door, go out the front door. because the back door will always exist for you. But you will never become the man who you know you could become if you constantly avoid the work, you constantly go out the back door, you constantly avoid the person who you know you can become. And that's the gap. Every day you go out the front door, you're closing that gap. Every day you live by structure and discipline, you're closing that gap. This is the only way to do it. This is the only fucking way. I don't care, bro. Like, other people, they're gonna tell you, yeah, you can drink, you could smoke, you could do bullshit, you could do this and that, bro. I did all of that for years. And yes, you can. I was shredded. I played varsity soccer. I ran varsity cross country. I was an athlete. I was shredded. I was holding jobs. I was working in my business. I was doing this and that. But I still wasn't operating at the capacity that I could be, and that's what you're here to do. That's what you're here to do. Not just get some abs, but operate at your fullest capacity. Become the man you know you can become. That's what I'm here to do. And so are you. That's the video I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you took some lessons out of it. That's kind of where I'm at right now in these apartments, building my own structure and discipline. I'm exactly where I need to be in order to grow. I didn't even think I would be able to get here, to be honest. I remember 3 months ago when I was first applying to apartments at the beginning of the year, really in the middle of a snowstorm here in Texas. My credit was shot because I made all those investments last year, and I didn't think I was going to be able to get this place. I ended up getting it, and I was super stoked. And I was extremely disciplined for the first couple weeks, but then it fell off this week, dude. And that's how it works. You get comfortable, you get complacent, and you start going back into old patterns. You know, you get a bit of momentum and then you go backwards. Momentum works in both ways, bro. Momentum works in both ways. Good habits stem from good habits, and bad habits stem from bad ones. I appreciate you for tuning in. Again, my name's Aiden Hatchett. Follow me on IG at Aiden Hatchett. If you want to work one-on-one with me to dial in your fitness, to dial in your training, your mindset, your habits, there's a link down below. You can click it and it'll take you through some questions to book a call. Only serious men book that call, please. Not nobody else, bro. You have to be serious about this. That is the only way that you're going to execute at the degree that you know you can. All right? You don't need a coach, you don't need me, but I guarantee you, I will help you overcome the obstacles that you have. Now, I gotta get to it. I gotta go upstairs and eat and get on with my day. I will see y'all in the next video. Bye for now. Stay dangerous, motherfuckers.